Good evening, members, and thank you for the opportunity to testify tonight. My name is Kathryn Sadasivan, and I'm a redistricting counsel at the NAACP's Legal Defense and Educational Fund. I was born and raised in Shreveport, Louisiana. I swam for the City of Shreveport swim team, and I attended and received a bachelor's degree from Tulane University in New Orleans. As an attorney for LDF, I am now based in New York, but it's been my great pleasure to come home and to collaborate with a coalition of civil rights, racial justice, and social justice organizations to fight for fair maps in Louisiana and a meaningful opportunity to participate in the political process for Black Louisianians. Last week, you received a letter from LDF and 16 of our partner organizations explaining that you have affirmative obligation to ensure that the electoral maps that you enact are in compliance with Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, which, based on 2020 census data, will likely require you to draw 2 majority-minority opportunity districts for Louisiana's U.S. congressional map. We offered 7 different ways to do this, showing how readily a map creating 2 majority-minority districts in Louisiana's congressional map truly is, while complying with the Constitution's mandate of one person, one vote, as well as traditional districting principles. As you know, a key purpose of Section 2 is to prohibit minority vote dilution at all levels of government. In Louisiana's congressional delegation currently, Black voters are packed into District 2, the state's only majority-minority opportunity district, while Black communities are cracked among the state's 5 majority-white districts, Districts 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Although District 2 has elected Black candidates in all but one congressional race over the past 30 years, none of the other districts ever have. Under the current maps, Lafayette is contained in the 3rd Congressional District. Black voters in the district, including right here in Lafayette, are consistently outvoted by the white majority and as a result have never had an opportunity to elect candidates of their choice to Congress. Each of the 7 maps in our letter include at least part of Lafayette in one of the 2 majority-minority districts. If one of these maps is enacted, Black voters in Lafayette will finally have an equal opportunity to elect candidates of their choice. Like the congressional map we presented, you are similarly obligated to honor the requirements of the U.S. Constitution in Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act in every electoral map you enact. Section 2 is particularly important consideration in Louisiana, a state with a long and well-documented history of discrimination against Black and brown residents of the state in all aspects of life, from education to interaction with the criminal legal system and incarceration, to health care, and of course access to the ballot. In order for sorely needed progress to be made on any of these issues, maps must be drawn so that Black voters have an equal opportunity to elect candidates of their choice. Just 2 years ago, on May 19, 2019, Ronald Green, an unarmed 49-year-old African-American man, died after being arrested by Louisiana State Police following a high-speed chase right outside of Monroe. That was at least what Mr. Green's family was told. What the long-withheld body camera footage showed, though, was that during the arrest, he was stunned, punched, placed in a chokehold, he was dragged face down while handcuffed and shackled, and he was left face down for at least 9 minutes. At least 6 white troopers were involved in this lynching. Notes from the Louisiana State Police's investigation into Mr. Green's lynching show that prosecutors were blocked from charging one of the officers who brutally beat Green and later bragged about it during the May 2019 lynching by the department's leadership, including Superintendent Colonel Reeves and elected officials from all levels of Louisiana government. Louisiana is a great state, a beautiful state full of unique flair and vibrancy, but as the lynching of Ronald Green brutally highlights, it is not a state that on its own has been able to grapple with and address systemic, intentional, and pervasive discrimination against Black and brown people of the state. Fair political representation is a necessary prerequisite for any meaningful work to begin, and that work is desperately needed. We urge you to carefully consider the requirements of Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act in all electoral maps you propose or enact, and in so doing, that you consider the political, social, and historical conditions in Louisiana that have led to this requirement. Thank you.